Unlimited Minds, welcome again to another episode. I have today a dear friend and powerful law of attraction teacher, Constance Todd Smith. She runs an amazing group, law of attraction group, following the teachings of Abraham on Facebook. And over the years, we've both developed and grown into law of attraction teachers. So today I want to have Constance share her story. Constance, tell us all about yourself.
Sit down, everybody. Let's go. Let's go for a
Yes, yes,
ride.
yes.
So good to see you, girl. This is
Oh,
such a pleasure. Uh,
always,
I
always.
could talk about this kind of stuff forever, right? They always
Mm-hmm.
say pick the thing you love the most to talk about, and this is
Exactly.
definitely,
Yeah. We'll
definitely,
we'll we'll have difficulty putting it, like
yeah,
closing it
just
up.
stopping me,
You
right?
can
Because I'll
keep
be like
going.
a tanker.
Yeah,
I need
yeah.
miles to stop.
I know, I know.
Uh,
The thing I love about you, Constance, is that you're so open about sharing your struggles to help other people learn. So, how did you even find law of attraction? How did you get into all of this stuff? What happened in your life?
what the heck? Uh, well, I guess I would start with probably the best decision I ever made, and that was to quit drinking alcohol.
Mm,
That was a turning point in my life. And I would say to anyone who's listening, if you want more out of your life and you have a problem with drugs or alcohol, you got to get that one done first. And then
right.
everything else will follow.
Mm,
Because the funny
why?
thing, yeah,
Why?
because you can't do anything if you're addicted to
Mm,
something. That will always be your most important relationship.
mm.
Right?
Oh, I
When am
like
I
those
gonna get
words.
my next fix? When am I gonna get my next drink? When am I gonna oh gosh, I can't go out tonight. How am I gonna get up in the morning? You're always planning,
Ooh,
cajoling, cleaning
I
up,
love those words. I'm going to write that down. Ooh,
right? You're cleaning up from the stuff that you've done the night before that you swear
yeah,
you'll never do again.
yeah, yeah.
So it's it's a vortex of nothing good. Nothing good.
Mm,
So and my advice is just find an AA meeting, an NA meeting, whatever you can do that's the most
mm,
wonderful group in the world.
mm-hmm.
Kind, open, non-judgmental, non-hierarchical,
Yeah.
just incredible. Um, so that was the most important thing I did, and I was
And were you
27.
on law of attraction journey at that time? No.
No, I had no
So
idea, but I
did
wouldn't
you
have been
just
able
wake
to
up
do it.
and say one day, okay, I'm quitting? How did that
Yes.
happen? Yeah.
Well, my parents were alcoholics, and
Okay.
so and I'm an Irish girl, and you
Mm,
know the Irish, we have a
you
little
love
bit
your
of
whiskey.
we do, we love everything. Anything in a bottle. Oh my god. So my parents were my coming attractions, right? It's like
Right.
you're in movies, this is coming attractions.
You're
I
right.
got to see that every night. And I knew from childhood that I would have to quit. I just knew. It was this
Right.
knowing that you get. You know, you have that knowing.
Yes.
And so I got to a point where I just couldn't, it was becoming, what do they ask you when you go to AA? You're there because your life has become unmanageable.
Mm,
Okay. So anything that you're doing in your life and that's unmanageable, you really want to check that out. What are you doing that you're participating in that makes everything else not work,
mm.
right?
Yes.
So I knew I was going to quit. I told all my buddies. I was living in Newport, Rhode Island. I'm a sailor. And I gathered all my friends. I said, my birthday's coming up. I want a big fat party. I want dancing boys. I want Veuve Clicquot champagne. I want 8 balls of cocaine. I want everything. Okay. Because I'm going out like a Roman candle. Well, I had that night and I woke up the next day or 2 days later, whatever it was. There's a great expression. I went out for a Friday night, had 2 Saturday nights, and came home.
Oh my
Anyway,
goodness.
I woke up and I said, well, I'm not ready yet. So I waited a couple more weeks. And then I woke up on a Monday morning. I love Mondays. Mondays are great days for me to start things. And made a declaration that that was it. I was done. And it literally felt as
That
though
was,
like something slammed behind me.
mm,
Okay, that's it. There's no going back. It's like when you find out about the law of attraction
yes,
and you
that's
find
right.
out
The
how
beginning.
powerful you are and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
find out all these things. You can't get back there, right?
Right. Right.
Sometimes you're like, "God, it'd be kinda great to be dumb again about all this, not know. I could just blunder about and whatever." Um,
But
so
it
yeah, that
becomes
was
so much
really
part of our system that we
right?
can't. Yeah.
You
So,
can't.
so did you go through withdrawal and, like,
No, no,
no?
I actually have probably one of the easiest stories of quitting drinking that I know. I literally made up my mind, and that was it.
Hmm.
I went and actually worked as a waitress. I quit my job 2 days later. I hated my job. Quit it.
That was making you drink, right? The job.
Well, that's always the
It was a
excuse, right?
factor.
Something is making me drink or someone.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And I went down to the wharf where I used to party and went and saw one of my girlfriends at one of my favorite bars. And I said, I got to get off this rock. I need to make money this summer. Can I be a waitress? And she said, I'd love a sober waitress. I said, okay, cool. And so I worked down at the bar that I used to party at. Um,
Amazing.
no, so that was great. And then I found all these people, weirdly enough, that were sober there too,
Of
that I
course.
never
So
knew.
weird, right? No law of attraction. So weird.
Right. And had an amazing summer and just loved waking up feeling good and loved being happy and loved not having shame,
Right.
um, all those things. But, I've always been connected to spirit, God, whatever you want to
Sure.
call it.
Yes.
I was brought up Roman Catholic. And so always had a very close connection to God. God and I are homies.
Okay.
And I just was talking to him, her, them, whatever, all the time, like, oh, this is great. What now? What now? And I've always read philosophy, myth, everything from Joseph Campbell to Seth to Siddhartha to Jonathan Livingston Seagull to you
Yeah.
name it. I could literally start
All
my own,
sounds familiar. Yes. Yeah.
right? So that was always happening concurrently in my life anyway, even when I was partying, like it was
Right.
1999. And then as I kept going with all that, now I could actually play in it and
Yeah.
sustain. Because I think that's the biggest thing that happens is how do I
Consistency.
sustain the good
Yes.
feelings?
That's right.
Because we all know what it is to feel good.
Right.
And you were like, woo!
Yes.
And then,
And then,
you slide, right? Yeah. Yeah. Um, so yes, I was just on that kick. I moved to Boston. I ended up getting married and we had 4 people. We got engaged, my former husband and I. I've known him since I was a kid.
eh,
We had 4 of our family members, parents and a grandparent, die within 5 months
oh my goodness,
of us getting engaged. So we were both saying,
what's
uh,
going on here?
this is weird.
Mm-hmm.
Life is wow. And we both had really good jobs at the time. I was running Harvard University's commercial real estate portfolio. He was running a bank program at US Trust. I mean, we were like, yeah, look at us. We're killing it.
Right.
And we weren't excited about it at all. I got a promotion at Harvard and I went and I sat in my new desk and I'm looking out over Harvard Square, the
Right.
iconic
Yeah.
Harvard Square. And I said, I think I'm supposed to be feeling something right now that's like excitement. And I called him up and I said, I'm not feeling it. And he said, I'm not feeling it. So we ended up getting married. I said, let's get married before anybody else drops dead because there's going to be no one
My
left at the
goodness.
wedding, right? And we ended up buying a sailboat, quitting our jobs, and going sailing for 2 years in the Caribbean.
Oh my goodness.
And what I had done was I went all over Boston and bought every book I could imagine on all different
To bring
subjects.
it with you. You didn't
Really
sink the boat?
didn't sink the boat, babe. Got pregnant in Venezuela,
Ah,
had to sail home. But So that was an odyssey that was amazing. But really, when things picked up for me, so I read all these different books, and Seth, I got really into Seth,
Right.
the precursor to
Yes.
Abraham and
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
Uh,
Same energy as
Wade
Abraham.
Roberts,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah.
And he's a bit esoteric, Seth. He's not with the how-tos. He's kind of
Mm-hmm.
talking up here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're in charge of your life, and you're like, yeah, but what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
But how do I make that happen? I mean, it sounds
Mm-hmm.
good, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you put the book down and you go, but I don't know how to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
We came back, had my child. I had my daughter in Manhattan, where I'm from, because I wanted her to be a New Yorker. And then we decided we don't want to be here. We want to go someplace new. So we went out to Northern California. That's when I dove headfirst into everything
Mm,
esoteric, metaphysical. You want to get into it, you go to Cali, especially Northern California, right?
mm,
Where it's just this petri dish of
mm.
so much
Of people
juice.
who are open. Yeah,
Completely.
they're
And I'm
open.
an East Coast
Yeah.
gal. I thought I was really cool and open. I
Mhm.
wasn't. I wasn't. Come to find out, I wasn't at all. I'm so glad I went out there. I
Yeah.
found yoga,
Yeah.
dove in. I found ecstatic dance, dove in.
That's how you
I
do
found
things, huh?
channeling.
Alcohol, you dove in.
Everything.
Yoga, you dove in.
Everything was a dive. Right on, get right up on the high dive.
Right.
When we first moved out there, I had an interesting experience.
So your husband was with you at this point.
He
You
was
were
with
still
me, but
married.
he's not into any of this stuff.
Okay.
Not his bag. He actually didn't want to know about it. It kind of
Uh-huh.
freaked him out.
Okay.
So I said, okay, well, he's like, can you predict the stock market? That was like his thing. I'm like, no, I'm not the amazing Kreskin or what is,
Mm,
whatever. But when I first got out there, I said, I've got to find my community of metaphysical people, because I had a big one back here in Boston. And I found they were having a channeling session. So I left the baby with Scott. I went to the channeling session. They have a channel out there called Michael.
okay.
Michael channel. It's different. It's not like Abraham. It's a very different thing. It's personalities and different things. Very interesting. So I went to this little metaphysical center, and I didn't know a soul. Walked in, sat down. The fellow starts channeling. And the minute he starts channeling, I start getting this feeling right here in my third eye. It was like a woofer, right? It was like
Mhm. Yeah.
throbbing. I was like, wow, which was really exciting, because I always wanted to be a channel,
Right.
and we all are, by the way.
Yeah,
I just
that's right.
didn't know
We
that
all
then.
are. Yeah.
What do you think your intuition is, right? I mean, come on.
Exactly. That's right.
So he's talking, and now I'm seeing people behind him. I'm seeing auras around people. I'm blowing my own mind, right? I'm like a Northern California B movie, right? Move out there and everything happens. And I couldn't take it anymore. So finally I raised my hand. He was looking away from me. So let's say you're me. So he's looking like this. I raised my hand and he went like this. Constance, welcome back.
Ooh,
Whoa. I mean, I didn't know I hadn't talked to anybody.
right.
I said, how you? Wow. He said, we had an agreement that, if we met in this lifetime, you used to work with Madame Blavatsky. I didn't know who any of these people were. I said, who's she? I had to go do some research. Anyway, that was the beginning of my deep immersion into channeling, meditation, tapping into the broader part of me and all the wealth of fabulousness that's out there in the universe. And
Wow.
so having one foot here,
Yeah.
reality, and one foot there.
Yeah. How beautiful.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And so, how did you come upon Abraham? At what point was that?
I'll tell you how I did. My girlfriend, Tiffany Kaplan, shout out to Tiffany Kaplan. All my girlfriends and I were always in search of. So we were going to see Chiron and all these different channels. And I had a girlfriend from most of my girlfriends out there were Cali girls, and they were, they were already into this stuff, right? So I was just hooking my wagon to them. Well, my friend Tiffany, who I met at the yoga studio that we ended up taking over and running, she and I were always in search of. One day I go to pick up my daughter at school, and I see Tiffany running across the parking lot with her arm up with a tape in her hand, screaming, "You have got to hear this. These are our people." And it was Abraham.
Ah,
And I put that cassette tape in my car,
right,
and I said, "Finally," because I had been asking for the how-tos.
right.
I had been asking. I love
Yes,
reading all this stuff, but I
yeah,
put the book down.
yeah, yeah.
How do I take it
What do
with
I
me?
do next? Yeah. So
Like
was
trying
that
on
the
outfits.
introductory tape that you got? Was it, which one was that?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no idea. Whatever they said, I was on
It
board.
was, yeah,
And so I said, "These are my people. They're teaching me how to string along
how to do it. Yes,
all these
that's right.
great reasons,
Yeah,
right? To
yeah,
really have a
yeah, yeah,
life
yeah, yeah,
that is what we're all supposed to have.
yeah. Joy.
We're not supposed to be struggling and stressed out and anxiety filled and fear filled and all that. I mean, those things are there for a reason to wake you up, to
Yeah,
say, "Hey, you're zigging when you should be zagging," or whatever. But I dove in with them. Anything they told me to do,
you
when they
did. Yeah,
Esther is meditating every day. Okay. Esther is journaling. Okay. Esther's appreciating. Okay. I went on cruises. I went to
yeah,
workshops all over. I met some incredible people. I met a whole group of people on this one cruise. We called ourselves the Power of Nine. And this is back in the day when Abraham would give multi-day workshops.
yes.
So we would meet in Chicago. We would meet in Asheville. We would meet all over
All
the
over
country
the place. Yes,
and on cruises
right,
and have the best time.
right.
And
Absolutely.
here was the coolest part with these guys. I met them on my first cruise. I went with a girlfriend of mine, who's also her kids went to school with mine. And, they asked us to come over to their table to have dinner. I couldn't get over there fast enough. I mean, it was as though something was I was going through that dining room, "Get me." Okay? Sat down, I looked around the table. This was my tribe. These are my people. I'd never met them. I didn't know their names.
Yeah, but you could feel it, right? Yeah,
I could feel it. I have never experienced anything like that.
amazing.
Such surety, such clarity, such ease. So
Delicious.
just everything. It's
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god, welcome home."
Mm.
And so that was the beginning of that odyssey. And I religiously listened to them and just kept pulling myself. Because here's the thing, and they say this, it would be lovely, wouldn't it, if we got a PhD in all this and we could just
Yeah.
say, "We're done.
Yep.
We're good to go."
Yep.
Well,
Done once and for all. I've got it all, and that's
I've
it.
got it. I figured it out. My friend Tiffany was always so funny. She would call me and say, "I figured it out." And it was always something new, right? "No, I figured it out." Ah, right? But you have to keep visiting it. You have to
Yes,
keep doing
that's right.
the work, you
We
know?
keep figuring more of it out. Yes,
Yes.
there's
Yes,
still
yes.
more. Yeah,
So that was wonderful. Made all those friends, and it's just been from there. And I started wanting to write about it. I
right,
wanted to write, and back in the day, we didn't Facebook was in its nascent period. I don't even know
right.
if it was around actually. Might not.
Probably not. Yeah,
Just, you know, uh, there was a group on the internet, the Abraham Forum, the Abe
right.
Forum.
Yes, Abe Forum. I'm
Abe Forum.
so aware of it. Yes.
Yep, and I joined them, and you have an avatar, and I just started writing on there, and I loved it. Because there's your channeling too,
Yes,
right?
that's right. Yeah,
Passion.
you're channeling through that. You're writing. Yes,
And I'm
absolutely.
meeting all these wonderful people that I
Yes,
don't know, but they're my family too.
right.
I mean, we've got big families, you know. I'm an only child of 2 only children who had an only child.
Mm.
My family is huge, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
On this planet, and
your vibrational family is
my
massive. It's
ooh,
everywhere.
my vibrational family. You're part of my vibrational family, girl. I mean,
Absolutely. Yeah,
right?
we have been for many years now.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So, that's how I started writing about it. And then Facebook, I my husband and I split up, and it was amicable, you know, it was I pulled the trigger, so it was easier for me, always the one who makes but
Hmm.
I felt really positive about it. I'd done the work, I felt this is what I needed to do for me. And, um, I started dating, and the young guys like me. What can I say? So one of the first guys I started dating, he followed me around the grocery store one day, and I was like, when are you gonna ask me out?" The produce section, he finally asked me out. But anyway, he was a bit younger than I was, right? So maybe like 15 years younger or so. And so he was really familiar with Facebook and the stuff at the time because it just
Right.
wasn't my jam.
Yeah.
And he said, "No, you gotta get on there. You gotta get people." I said, "Well, what am I friending?" He said, "It doesn't matter. They're not really your friends. You just get the people." I said, "Okay." And, soon after that, I found, groups on Facebook that were Abraham groups, and
Yes,
one of
that's right.
them, the original Abraham group, I think they call
Hmm.
themselves. I wrote a post. I read the what the rules were, and I
Mm-hmm.
wrote a post about an experience that I had,
Yes.
and then it was gone.
Mm.
And then I wrote another post, and it was gone.
Mm.
And I couldn't figure out what the heck was going on. And I PM'd some people, and I said, You're on this group. What the heck's going on?" "Oh, well, the guy who runs it, I don't know, whatever."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Okay, well, this is pissing me off."
Mm-hmm.
And so my new boyfriend at the time said, "Why don't you start your own group?"
Yeah.
And that's when I started Abraham Hicks and You. And
Amazing.
yeah, and now we have 41,000 people. It's a closed group.
Yeah,
You
it's a
get in there,
wonderful
you do
place.
your Abe, you can do Bashar, you can do whatever, anything that's germane. I mean,
Yes.
there's how many Neville Goddard, I mean, we could go on and on and on and on of
Yes,
all
same
the teachers,
vibration. Yeah, it's all the same vibrational family. Yes.
different colloquialisms or
Yes.
parlance or references, or they
Yeah.
lived in a different century. Florence Scovel Shinn,
Yes.
love her,
Yeah,
okay? She's heavy into Christ and Jesus because that was the time she was living,
that's right.
but
But the
she's saying
essence
all
of the
kinds
material is the same. Yes.
exactly. And
Yeah.
if you don't like the God Jesus thing, you just throw source in there
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
or whatever your word is,
Yeah.
something
Exactly.
for you.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
Constance, what are the amazing things that have happened in your life because of law of attraction and or just spirituality and your understanding of how things work? Because it's all to me, it's all people talk about mental health, and I am at this point where I feel that if you really want mental health, you've got to understand the law of attraction.
I would say yes to that, and I would also say you're not alone here.
Hmm.
There's something this we're a little piece of who we are. We are grand beings,
Yes.
amazing, powerful, who
Yes.
made a choice to come down here and forget who we are. Do you know how big that is?
Mhm.
This is a very dense planet of people. It can pull you down, right? And some of us never come out. Some of us stay like this the whole time. First half of our lives, our first 20 years, 30 years, whatever it is, you're inculcated with information. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait, whoa, wait a minute. I have choices here.
Yes.
So I would say for mental health, the first thing that I would strongly suggest to people is you get a meditation practice.
Hmm.
Go with stillness.
Yes.
You've got to
To
shut this down.
disconnect. Yeah.
We have over I think the mental illness,
Yes.
and I don't have any letters after my name except for THC and, LSD and stuff like that. It The mental illness is because we're putting too much pressure on our logical human mind. Our human mind is not designed to figure out problems. Our human mind is designed to say, "Oh, it's 3 o'clock. Pick up the kids at school.
Hmm.
Oh, there's the stove. Don't put your hand on it." It knows, it remembers,
Yes.
right? But it has no idea how to fix anything. It is not a solution. It has we have burdened it to the point where we've got such tremendous anxiety around it because we're literally Ouroboros, right? We're like that snake just eating its tail, and we can't figure out how to get out of it. And we all know you can't solve a problem from the level of the problem. So where do
Yes.
you go? You go to your higher mind,
That's right.
source mind,
Yeah. Yes.
all that is,
I
your
love what you're
guardian,
saying because
call it
it's
whatever
like,
you want.
yeah,
But
it's
I believe that has to come before understanding the laws of the universe, because if you're filled with fear all the time and you
yeah,
haven't fixed
that's
that,
right. Yeah.
guess what? You're gonna get more fear. That's the problem,
That's the problem. Yes.
right? And that's
Fear
why it's so
is
hard to ex
rampant. And
Yeah.
and our news media creates more fear,
Oh,
unfortunately,
yeah. Well, they love that.
right?
That's
Because
how they
yes,
make their money.
yes. But I love what you just said because it's something that I say a little bit differently from you. I say
Okay?
we've given the mind the wrong job. It
Yeah,
was never meant to do the job that we are getting it to do.
exactly.
The, your mind is supposed to help you feel the contrast, give birth to desire, but the
Ooh,
decisions are made in the heart, not in the mind. When you try use your mind to make a decision, you just spin your wheels
exactly.
because you get stuck because the mind will go pros and cons, and that pulls your vibration apart.
Yes. Yes, and you're not what's your most important relationship is between you and you,
You and you,
and
exactly.
if
The
you
higher,
can't hear this you,
yes,
then you'll never know what your true north is and how to be guided.
exactly.
You
Yes,
know, um, when I got divorced, people were a little shocked because he and I never fought or whatever. I just needed freedom. I needed to do my thing, and I was at such at ease with it. And I had a girlfriend, and I saw her at, the yoga studio, and she said, "How you doing?" I said, "I've never been better. I feel so good about this," because I we have this thing, right? We've realized that we're hooked into the broader
yes.
part of us, and that
Okay.
I can tell immediately when I'm
When
making
you're
a
not.
bad choice
Yes, exactly.
for me, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And she said, "Are you on drugs?" "No, girl, I'm on me." No.
Yay.
Um,
I love that.
so I would just say to people, really find that stillness any way you can. I love Abraham's,
Yes,
meditations.
meditations.
They're all over YouTube. I really got
Sure.
into that.
Yeah.
And that's your first layer in, because source, your higher mind, whatever you wanna call it, the Kybalion says that, the universe is a mind, right? A
Yes.
lot of teachings say that.
Yeah.
Uh, it's subtle.
Mm.
It's subtle. Reality is not subtle. It's like bam, right? It's always bam, comes in like that, like, wow. You gotta get jiggy with the subtle.
Mm.
And just like I teach my yoga students, we breathe. We
Yes.
breathe. You leave your mind out with your shoes.
Right.
You come in here, your body is in charge.
Ah,
How are you gonna hear what your body says to you because she speaks or he speaks to you in the language of sensation? Well, you have to be breathing. Why do you breathe? Because it makes you into the eternal now. which is the only now. It's the only time there is the eternal now. Because when you get to tomorrow, it's still now.
Yes, that's
And when you
right.
think about last week, it's still now.
Right.
So it's this paradox.
Mhm. I love it. I love those words. The
And so you
eternal
have
now.
to dial into that. And this deep breathing, which is what you do when you meditate. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, your shoulders drop.
Yeah.
You start to tingle or whatever your thing is.
Yes.
You realize, wait a minute, I have help. I'm not slogging to windward down here by myself all the time. I have help. And then you start to tune in to these subtle sensations, your intuition, your imagination.
Mhm.
That's where all the power is. And then we get inspired to make action because we are down here in 3D. We have to act, right?
Not
But
sit
it's an
on a couch
inspired.
and yeah. Yeah. There's no fun in sitting on a couch.
No. Unless you don't know what to do, then stay on the couch.
Yes, that's right.
Some days you just need to sit on that darn couch and give yourself permission to sit on the couch, okay? When I'm having time like that, I I was like, "Ooh, I don't wanna deal with anything." Like, "Okay, take yourself off the hook.
Mm.
Today is your day to be crabby.
Whatever you want. Yes.
Be crabby today."
Yeah.
And I don't call anybody and I don't talk
Yeah.
because who wants to be with crabby me? I wish someone
Everyone
would just
has
sit
those
on my head,
days.
just
Yeah.
take it away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to understand that everyone has that kind of a day or 2 days or three
Yes.
or a week or whatever. And it's okay to go there, just not
Absolutely.
okay to stay there forever. Don't stay
Exactly. Don't make it a forwarding address.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Snap out of it.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly.
So let's go back there. So we were talking about how law of attraction is all about mental health. And you said, well, the first thing is incorporate meditation. And then what's
Yes.
the next thing?
Identify the beliefs that are holding you back.
Hmm. How do you do that? It took me a
It's a
long time to
process.
figure that out.
It's a process, and I've been deep in it lately.
Yeah.
I have courses, and this is really what my course is. This is the foundation of all the courses.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what course you take for parenting, for a healthy relationship with your body, designing a lover, law of attraction, at the basis of everything. So the common denominator
Yes.
is belief systems.
Mm.
Now, we have belief systems from the time we were born, right? They start
Right.
coming in. Your family's got some, if you're in a religion, they've got some, your
Right.
society, everybody's heaping a belief on you. Some you buy, some you don't.
Yeah.
You're going to find in life that some things come really easily to you.
Yes.
Maybe money flows easily to you. Maybe lovers flow easily to you.
Mm-hmm.
Then on the other hand, you have a problem with maybe your weight. Maybe you self-sabotage.
Mm-hmm.
All of that stems from beliefs. So if you're cool with money, well, you must have a belief that money it flows to you. That's your denominator. But then over here, maybe you keep picking the same bad boyfriend.
Mm.
Hmm. What's your belief about you? I'm not worthy. But that's a big one.
Yeah,
And we
that's
all hold that with something.
mm-hmm.
Nobody gets out of jail free card on the I'm not worthy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's kind of shocking
Yes, we
how
all
we
have
all
something.
have that in
Yes. Yeah.
some area, right?
Yeah. And it affects everything.
It does. And that's a real common denominator. The worthiness factor is
Mm-hmm.
huge. And so it's really about first monitoring your thoughts.
Mm. You have to
Getting
become
really
present to what
clear.
you're thinking. Yeah.
Correct. So when I first started doing this, I remember I dropped my daughter off at school
Right.
and I thought, oh, I'm going to monitor my thought from here till, like 3 blocks away.
Okay.
Now I'm a positive person. was shocked. What?
Yeah.
I had a lot of garbage going on in there.
Yeah. I've been
A
there.
lot of judgment. Why am I judging others? Because I'm judging me,
Yes.
right? That was the beginning of, wow, the stuff that goes on in here, right? So first you monitor your thoughts. Just check them out during the day.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you go in your head?
Mm.
And some of us feel things and then, because your thought is the spark for your feeling,
Yes, that's right.
right? So some
Yeah.
of us feel it first and then go to the thought. Some of us are in the thought and then
And then
recognize the
yeah,
feeling.
feeling.
That, however you do it,
Doesn't
right?
matter. Yes.
Start to notice why you're feeling crappy. What are you thinking about?
Yeah.
What are you dragging around? And then literally it's lots of journaling here.
Mm.
Start writing it down and
Mm-hmm.
not on your computer,
Computer.
literally a pen
The
and a piece
paper.
of
Yeah.
paper.
Nice journal.
It's a tactile moment, and you have to actually think, and you'll start to channel stuff too, give yourself answers, which is really
Yes, that's right.
cool. But you just make a commitment that I want to clean this up. I want to live my highest and best life.
Right.
I'm thinking things that are keeping me from being successful and in successful being happy mostly, right? So I recently just moved to Boston from Mexico. I've been in Mexico for 5 years. I'm back here. I'm a woman of a certain age. My daughter's the next town over. She asked me to come with her. She's going to college here. We're really tight. I brought her up with all this stuff, so she's good to go. Kids got it, right? And it's been a little roller coaster for me. A little scary, a little unnerving. I'm a writer, so I'm writing right now. So everything that I do is I don't have a husband. I don't have, we women out there, we get to a certain age. We were given a whole like fairy tale. The fairy tale turns out isn't real. But guess what? They never were. We should have known
Mm. Yes, that's right.
that. Okay. And so here we are, I was a stay-at-home mom. I had a yoga studio and did all that, but I wasn't like my husband who kept working for 30 years. I actually had a better job than he did, and I chose to stay home with the kid.
Mm.
Wow. So here we are. Economic issues,
Right. Exactly.
old friends who are doing their thing. They've been doing their thing for 25 years. I've been gone. What do I
Right.
think? I'm gonna come back in town? They're gonna throw me a parade with confetti? Hey, Constance, welcome back. No, I see them, but they have their lives.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So I have to make new friends.
Yeah.
Right? So then I decided I was going to start teaching yoga again. Well, it's flow yoga. That's the big thing now. And I'm an Iyengar teacher. Okay, so I got to teach myself how to teach flow. Pull out all my yoga books. I've got,
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
ooh, that's scary, right? I got to get
Yes.
in front of people. And
Yeah.
luckily, law of attraction, I found the perfect studio to cut my teeth in. The owner she's just a doll. It was weird. She had the same dog that I have. She's sober like I am. We have the same yoga background. We're like, good God, this is perfect. Let's go. So she gave me, law of attraction is always working. Even
It's
when you're
always
scared,
working. Yes.
this
Yeah.
is the thing. This is like the cool part.
Okay.
If you do the work, and
Yes.
by work, I mean the joyous work of how do I say this? Of committing to you and your
Mm.
highest and best you. And you say, I'm gonna get up today and I'm gonna do the best I can. I'm
Right.
gonna figure this out
Right.
in a fun way. Even if you're off kilter a little, law of attraction and your people are still working in your behalf. You might be feeling nervous. You might be feeling scared. You might feel anxiety, but good stuff is going to keep coming in. It doesn't stop. And
It
so
doesn't.
that's a positive. So in the midst of the maelstrom, you can say, oh, well, good. Oh, gosh, look at this. I have this great opportunity at this studio. And they let me bring my dog in there because he's old and he doesn't like to be left alone anymore. It was like all these perfect things. So, I had to, boy, it's been a little bit of a interesting thing. So what happened? Well, I realized I still have belief systems I'm carrying around that aren't serving.
Mm. Yeah.
And I've been working on those, and it's been really great because I feel them just kind of
Yes.
peeling them, just peeling the onion.
Yeah.
Oh, there's that one that was holding me back. You can go
Yeah.
now, right? So we think we get to the, like, again, back to the PhD.
Yes.
We're going to
You
come.
go and get it
I'm
done.
sorry,
Yeah.
life is gonna cold cock you. It's vicissitudes. It's up and it's down. It's troughs and it's, the tip of the wave.
So I have a question for you. How do you recognize a thought to be a negative belief?
Well, when I feel myself saying things to myself that aren't supportive,
Ah,
okay?
yes.
Um, I have a prodigious memory. I love reciting poetry and memorizing. I would prepare for a class that I was gonna teach, and driving to the studio, I would start to freak out that I'm not gonna remember I'm not gonna what was
Yeah.
that? What was the second? What was
Oh,
the right? So
oh,
clearly, that's something going on there, that
yeah.
I'm in this situation, I'm not feeling secure in my own knowing. So I had to get to the bottom of that. What is that?
Mm,
Why am I saying these things to my why do I figure I'm gonna screw up?
mm.
What's that from? And I also was kind of it's been an odyssey here, I tell you, because I lived in Boston for 10 years,
Right.
and I first got sober in Newport. I left Newport after 5 months there, and I came here and started my life here at the age of 27, sober and whole new life, and I killed it. And then I was back this time, and I was like, I don't think I'm killing it. I'm like, who am I? I've had a kid. Right? I'm a completely different person. The one that left, I'm not that same person. My friends that are here are like,
Yeah.
"I'm sorry.
You, yeah,
I
you're
don't
not.
think we're all like I thought,"
Yeah.
you know? Um, so it's been that, like, having these memories and did I do the right thing and questioning myself. And sometimes I think are you a the hero's journey
Yes.
of the hero, Joseph
Yeah.
Campbell, right?
Yeah.
The man with 1,000 faces. Um We're constantly going through hero's journeys.
Yes.
We're not gonna get away from that. And each one gives you an opportunity to delve deeper into yourself and to find something that is working for you and that's not. And so when you realize you're not doing well in something,
Yeah.
that's you.
That's an indication that you've got some negative beliefs going on.
Exactly. And so that's when you have to stop. And this takes work.
It
You have to
does.
stop and ask yourself, what do I have to believe is true
Hmm.
in order for me to feel this way?
Hmm.
What do I have to and you might have a surface answer, and then you might have another answer, and then you might end up subterranean, you know, down one of Dante's rings down there, you might be in the 7th ring. You gotta keep going. You gotta be like an archaeologist and just keep digging and digging. And then you'll hit pay dirt and you're like, "Oh, there it is.
Hmm.
Got you." So it's you'll see yourself struggling in areas. Just look at your life and you'll have areas where you're just killing it and areas where you're struggling. The struggle, now this is when it gets exciting because the struggle is telling you that's where you're stuck. That's
Hmm.
belief there. So what
Hmm.
is a belief? A
It's a
belief
thought.
is just a thought that you've thought so many times that you believe it's true.
Yeah.
That's all it is, which means you can change your belief anytime you want. It's not etched in stone. It's not a stela, you know. It's literally a malleable, ephemeral thought. And the thing is, we keep repeating the belief, and that's why we think it's true.
Mm,
So the law of attraction keeps bringing us what we feel is true.
it's true. Yes.
And the minute you say, no mas,
Mm,
you
I'm
know,
not buying it anymore.
I'm not buying it. No, no.
And then it goes away. Just like you demonstrated when you made the decision, no more alcohol, it just all fell away. It was a
It's
decision.
okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you
And so
decided
another good
this
thing to
is
do
what I
is,
want for me. Yeah.
yes, take the stuff that you're really good at
Yes.
and overlay that on the stuff that's not flowing for you.
Mm.
Notice what you have to think about over here. What do
Mm.
you believe is true about you that allows you to just kill it with this,
With this. And what's got you? And then, yeah, when you
right?
do that comparison, you'll
Yes,
see how you think differently about the other stuff.
exactly.
And then
And
you,
sometimes you gotta hit your knees, and have that good old hero's journey.
right.
Uh, and then you become an even better example for yourself if you're a teacher, because 'cause we're all teachers,
Yeah.
right? Then you become a better teacher
Yeah.
because you've had this experience.
Yeah.
And, we all wish, "Why can't it just be over with? Why do I have to keep revisiting myself?" Well, we're eternal beings.
Yes.
We're so complicated, and the
Yes.
stuff that we drag around with us, you just wanna keep lightening the load, lightening the
Mm-hmm.
load, lightening the load.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Amazing. So, Constance, unfortunately, it's time for us to bring this to a close for today. You know, we can always have other days. But before I let you go, would you please share either a quote or an affirmation that you find really speaks to you, really inspires you, and you think it would inspire our listeners as well?
Mm. I guess I guess what I would say is, mm, this is a good one, girl, you stumped me, because I've had so many
Oh,
things.
you have so many. I know that. Pick the first one that comes to mind.
mm, I am a part of all that I have met.
Ooh, oh my goodness. Those are
And that's
so
not mine,
beautiful.
that's Alfred Lord Tennyson from Ulysses, from his poem
Oh, it's
Ulysses.
beautiful.
Mhm. I am a
Thank you,
part of
thank you,
all that I have met.
thank you, thank you. That is, yes, and so true. Yes,
Right?
yeah. So
Yeah,
all wise people knew these things, right? They just said them in different ways.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. So Constance, I'm going to put in the show notes. I want everyone to go and join your Facebook group.
Yes.
But but where how do people connect with you? What's the best way if they have a question, they want to learn more about your work, your courses, the book
Yeah,
that you're
well,
writing?
you can go to my website, constancealignment.com. It's a double entendre because 'cause I'm a yoga teacher too. But all my courses are there, and I have a lot of audio so you can listen to what the courses are about. You can get in touch with me there. You can contact me there. I'm on Facebook, Constance Todd Smith. I also have my group, Abraham Hicks and You. And then I'm on Instagram, Constance Alignment, or you can search me at Constance Todd Smith. I'm there. You can DM me, you can PM me on Facebook. Um, you can send me an email at constancealignment.com, and I'm open. I'm here to we're here for each other. We're all co-creating on this crazy blue ball of fecundity. So, let's go. Let's play. Let's co-create and figure stuff out. I
Absolutely.
would love
We
that. I'm
sure are.
open to
Yeah.
anything.
We
Yeah,
are all in this together.
exactly.
Thank
Exactly.
you so much,
Thank
Constance.
you for having me.
Love
This is
you
a
so
gift.
much. I love it. Yes. Thank you,
Really,
thank you, thank you.
really.
And of course, we will keep playing together.
Yes, we will, girl. You got it.